Okay, everybody, welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's well. Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing great. Talking about immersion. It's funny this weekend. Not funny. It's powerful. This weekend is the holiday of Shavuot. Shavuot is the holiday that remembers the giving of the Torah, the Ten Commandments, Mount Sinai. Notice where God placed the Ten Commandments. Like if you're God giving over the Ten Commandments to your people, right? Where would you do it? Right now, if God made you the producer of the event, let's say God's like, listen, I got to give over this thing. It's unbelievable. It's 10 commandments. It's going to change the world, right? Like, go figure out what to do it. If me and you were in charge, what would we do? What would we do? We'd find some massive place. We'd get it. We'd put 100 cameras, right? It would be like in New York or in Jerusalem, or say in Jerusalem or in New York or in, I don't know, Rome, or it would be some massive, cool place with lots of people, right? It would be an event. Where did God do it? He did it in the desert. It wasn't even in civilization. Egypt was the center of civilization. That wasn't happening. Canaan, which is now Israel, was where, civilization was. That didn't happen. He put them in the desert. Why? Because he was immersing them in it. He didn't want them to wake up in the morning and go to the Ten Commandments, go to Mount Sinai, and then in the afternoon, catch the latest, game in, in the Egyptian center. He didn't want to then go farm at night. He didn't want to have them at the beach. He wanted them immersed. And if you notice, the birth of the Jewish nation took place in 40 years of immersion. Immersion. Bread came from heaven, right? Manna, the well of Miriam, the clouds of glory. They didn't work. Food was given to them. What did they do all day? They immersed themselves in depth and spirituality and Torah study and in being together, in creating the nation. It was 40 years of immersion that launched the nation. Because immersion gives you the ability to see things that you can never see if you are only getting it for an hour a day. Now you live in your life, so you have what you have. But ask yourself, where are my immersive experiences? Where can I immerse myself? For some people, they go to on vacation. Great. Everyone needs to chill and relax. Where am I going? And what am I immersing in? And what is it saying about what I'm going to gain from the immersion? And I'm not judging, I'm just stating that for some, the immersive experiences of their life is a world in which they're doing less, which they may need. I'm just stating it. So I go to a place and I spend all day doing nothing. That's my immersed 3 days where I get to do nothing. That's my immersive moments. For some people, it's 3 days and I'm immersing in someone else's culture. I'm going to go backpack. I'm going to go travel to this place and see someone else's life. Okay. For some people, 3 days of immersing into their own world. I'm going to go to some place that's meaningful to me. Bring my family, or even bring myself, or my wife, or my husband. And I want to immerse myself in my own world that I don't really get a chance to because I'm so busy all year. Holidays play this role, big time, right? The whole idea of Shabbat and holidays is immersion in time. God's like, immerse yourself in time. So it's not really your life. Your life is busy and running and going, and you got to shut down now. And shutting down is what allows you to even be in your home, but be immersed in a new world. But it's supposed to be an immersive experience. If you're at a point in your life where you can go someplace else for a period of time, people do this all the time. They're done with their colleges. They go spend 6 months in their country or Israel, whatever. People are young enough that they can go for the summer somewhere. Wherever, or you come on one of our trips and you spend a week, right? The ability to look at your year and ask yourself, how do I create immersive experiences that allow me to deepen the things that I want? That's part of it. That's part of it. Over the course of a year, depending on where you live and what communities you're part of, or communities you want to be part of, there are dozens of opportunities of immersion. Dozens of opportunities to immerse themselves for a weekend for a holiday, for a week, for a summer. You can put yourself in a place where that will allow your desires to spring forth, because you're aligning your natural neurological need for social acceptance that will take place in an environment with your desire of wanting something deeper. I want to be a deeper person. I can't do it in my life, because in my life I am bouncing off mimetic desires of wanting to be successful and balancing my life and 100 emails. I need to go to a place where in this place they value depth and meaning and spirituality. And in this place that I can go to, a trip, a weekend, something, I know that for a period of time this is going to be my life. And so that will give me the ability for my brain to align with what I want it to align to. Right? What immersion is like the accelerated program to putting yourself in the right environment. Like, if you want to live a great life, you can't fight your brain. Your brain is given to you to leverage. That's why if you want to diet, you'll never diet by waking up in the morning and being like, that's it, changing my life. And so you go a week and you're starving all day, but you always, unless you're like some incredibly disciplined person, you always go back to yourself. Because you're fighting your brain. Your brain doesn't work like that. Your brain doesn't work in harsh moves. Your brain is neuroplastic. It works in small, subtle, repetitive moves. So if you cut out a little bit of food every day without really killing yourself and put all of your discipline in that and carry it over the course of a year, you're going to cut out most of your food. You'll win. But if you go like cold turkey for a week, you're going to usually come back. Don't fight your brain. If you live in a world where the world sends you messages that is contrary to who you want to be in life, you're fighting your brain. If you're living around people and all they care about is materialism and you're trying to deepen your life, it's not going to work, because everyone around you is so materialistically focused that you have to be like incredibly counterculture to do that way, and most people aren't. So then why fight it so much? So what are you going to do? You don't have to give up your life, but you got to be aware of it. If you're trying to deepen yourself, if you want a deep relationship with your family, if you want a deep relationship with God, if you want a deep relationship with your purpose in life, if you don't want to get to the end of your life and see your entire life as the experience of making and paying bills and keeping up with someone with a little bit more, you want to actually do things that are deep and meaningful and purposeful, and the people around you are obsessed with what they have, and you're in that world, it's going to be really hard. So you got to create worlds around yourself so that people around you respect. You don't got to give up your friends. You don't give up your life, but go into new circles. Create new relationships. Volunteer for new organizations. Get around things. But if you're in that space, set for the course of your year some level of immersion. Go away for a weekend to a retreat that is meaningful. There's hundreds. At least from the Jewish side, we have hundreds of them. Every holiday there's a retreat. Every single weekend there's so much happening. Do it, because that will put you into an environment where you get to like breathe into the world that you want to live in, even temporarily. But that's powerful, because that will hold on to you. We know kids that live from camp to camp. They live from summer to summer, especially when they're in high school or in elementary school, and they can't sit, and they're superstars. But wherever they go in their educational system, they don't care if they're superstars. They care if they're obedient. There are kids like this in the world. And they're stuck in an obedient system, like drowning away. And then they go to camp, and they're the color war captain and color war champion and the head of this and the head of that, and they run the place and they breathe and then they do everything. And they live from camp to camp. And that's what makes, okay, people can grow from immersion to immersion. They can live their lives knowing that they're immersing themselves every few months, every few weeks into something. But you can't do it if you're not willing to be uncomfortable. And you can't do it unless you understand this incredible undervalued resource, this power called immersiveness. Where are you immersed? And where can you put yourself in a place in which immersion, and we do this in Momentum all the time, where immersion makes you touch a piece of yourself that you could never have touched before. Think about that. Over the weekend, with long weekend, we'll be back on Tuesday because it's the holiday of Shavuot. The Think about that. God decided to take the Jewish people and immerse them in a desert to be able to give them the Torah, which was more than just the Ten Commandments. But he understood that for me to give this to them, they have to be born in an immersive experience so that they could see it and live in it. They can create their own world before they have to go out and be like everybody else. Over this holiday, whether you keep it or don't keep it, whatever it is, whoever you are, don't matter. This weekend, stuff's going on in the world. The spiritual world is shifting. When a holiday comes, it is a spiritual event, whether or not we can feel it or not. Holidays are not commemorations. They are recognitions of spirituality. This weekend is the recognition that there's a spiritual thing happening in the world. There is some level of immersive depth taking place. Think about it. What are my environments? Daily, weekly, annually? Where can I put more environments around me that'll bring the best out of me? I can do it on a weekly basis, and I'll go once a week to this group of people and do this. I can do it on a daily basis and engage in this type of thing every day or whatever. But what am I doing annually? So that maybe I can put myself in like larger immersive experiences so that I can consistently delve deep into the seas of my own mind and heart so that I can over time really see what I want. All right, everybody, we'll talk. Great weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Happy holiday. Chag Sameach. With God's help, I can't wait to see you again next week.
Living on a lifeline. The world doesn't ever seem to change. Looking for the sunshine, but you're caught up in the rain. It's like your eyes are wide open, but you cannot see. You're watching life pass you by like 1, 2, 3. Walking in destruction. The winds of life blur your vision. All the devastation forever feels like you're on the run. It's time. No one else can set you free. You're locked inside, and only